Aristotle, over 2,000 years ago, claimed that human beings are rational animals. David Hume, just under 300 years ago, suggested that we are emotional animals. At the intersection between Aristotle and Hume, between the rational and the emotional, lies the human being as a storytelling animal. Through stories, we create a coherent understanding of ourselves and our world. The stories we hear and the stories we tell stir up our emotions and move us to action. And so the kind of stories we tell about ourselves can make all the difference. In his groundbreaking book, Redirect, Timothy Wilson describes research conducted on first-year university students who lacked confidence in themselves and were struggling with their academic work. Half of the students were exposed to the following intervention. They were told that 67% of all first-year students end up doing worse than they expected. However, they were also told that when you look at the entire student body, you find that 62% of the students end up doing better in years 2, 3, and 4 than they did in year 1. In other words, the story that these statistics tell is that students are initially disappointed with their performance, but then mostly improve over time. After being exposed to these statistics, participants in the study were exposed to the personal stories of 4 students who recounted how they did poorly when they first came to college, but went on to improve in subsequent years. This whole intervention took just 30 minutes, but these 30 minutes had far-reaching consequences. Compared to a control group that did not receive the intervention, the students who received the 30-minute intervention enjoyed higher grades and were much more likely to graduate from college. What made the difference? As a result of the 30 minutes, the story that these students told themselves was different. Initially, when they got their first-year grades, they probably said something to the effect of, "I'm not as smart as I thought I was," or "I must be an admissions error," or "I don't have what it takes to succeed in college." But after they saw what other students were going through and heard their stories, their own story changed too. It's normal that my grades are not as high. I'm simply going through what most students go through. I will get better. And they did. We all have our narratives about the things we do and the people we are, from how we are as students or partners or parents or professionals. And these narratives determine how we fill these roles. Unfortunately, the stories we tell ourselves often compromise on our self-confidence, our happiness, and our success. Fortunately, we have the capacity to retell our stories, create a new narrative, and consequently create a new and better reality for ourselves. So why not restory your life? And instead of tales of weakness and impossibility, write stories of strength and possibility. Find an area where you'd like to grow and develop. It could be as a child to your parents, as a parent yourself, as a professional, or as a healthier human being. Write it down. Now, what disempowering story do you currently tell yourself in this area? Is it perhaps that you're not capable of getting out of bed in the morning to exercise? Is it that you just don't have patience and energy to deal with the needs and demands of your kids? Is it that you don't have what it takes to succeed at work? Spend a few minutes thinking and writing your current narrative. Within the area where you have chosen to grow, think back to you at your best, to a time when you thrived in that area. For example, when you actually did persistent exercise, or when you were calm and patient with your children, or when you thrived at work. Write about it. And now, spend a few minutes writing a new story about yourself within that area. A story that is more forgiving and more encouraging, that focuses on you at your best possible self. You are a storyteller. Use this fabulous ability to create a fabulous reality.